Always a pleasure having you. Thank you for finding time for us. Tell us about these inspections mid-March and early April. Are they something that you're imminently prepared for?
Well, you know, these are triggered by the fact that our dossiers have been accepted by US FDA and EMA. As you know, we've reported acceptance of 2 dossiers by US FDA and several by EMA. So I think this is something that we were expecting, and you know, this is something which is very important for the review process. And as you know, we've been given BS-USA dates by US FDA in September and October. So I think it is you know, going according to process. And as a company, we are very prepared for inspections. We have a good track record for inspections. In fact, our drug product facility has already been inspected by both US FDA and EMA. And now the drug substance facility, the biologics facility, has to now undergo the same similar inspection. The fact that we've actually you know, successfully completed a Japanese inspection for Insulin Glargin basically bodes well for these inspections.
Okay. Kiran, good morning. So are you on course for your filings in US markets and in European markets as well?
Well, you know, we've been you know, sharing with you our dossier submissions, and we are on track for our pipeline of biosimilars. So this is a very important event, because I think we are really, you know, waiting for this these dates in September and October. So I think these inspections are a part of that process.
Okay. You know, on this drug Neulasta, I mean, correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, which is a $4.7 billion market size in US. What are your expectations? What kind of opportunity is it for Biocon?
It is a very large opportunity for Biocon and Mylan. And considering the fact that there are not too many companies who have been able to submit dossiers for the same product, we expect it to not be a very crowded market, and I think we have a good opportunity to gain a significant market share once it's approved.
Are the biologics facility a tougher challenge than the other pharmaceutical plants, Kiran? There was some analyst who was saying that that's a tougher challenge, and lately some you know, foreign drug multinationals abroad couldn't quite get past the EMEA and the US Drug Authority.
Well, certainly, I think biologics facilities are very, very sophisticated and complex facilities. But like I just mentioned, Lata, the fact that we have very successfully completed a very stringent inspection by the Japanese PMDA, I think can tell you that you know, we are obviously making all the required preparations to face a similar audit and inspection by US FDA and EMA. And the fact is, we have had a pretty good track record of successful you know, inspections. And let me tell you, in most of these inspections, the drug product is what really causes problems. And there we've had very successful inspections by both US FDA and EMA. So we hope that we will have a very positive outcome. I think we are in a very good state of preparedness.
Okay, that's good to hear. Well, the other news that we got in the last 24 hours is that Roche is succeeding in developing a breast cancer product with, I don't know, again, if I'm pronouncing it right, Perjeta combined with Herceptin. Will that be a very big challenge then, given your partnership with Roche, if this combination drug is more potent than Herceptin alone? Does that make the Herceptin product evolution a little less likely?
You know, the fact is, you have to co-administer it with, you know, trastuzumab or Herceptin. So the fact is that, you know, any, you know, healthcare provider who needs to basically, provide this therapy will have to use, you know, trastuzumab. I don't think any HMO would shun using a biosimilar trastuzumab if it is a discounted product. So whilst Roche is trying desperately to, hang on to its trastuzumab market, I think we do have a good opportunity to even play in that market. And I think, we remain very confident that this is a big opportunity for Mylan and Biocon.
Okay. Kiran, the story of last 1 year, one of the stories of last year in Biocon has been your success of Glargin in Japan in particular, where you've garnered 25% market share. Can you ramp up from here as well?
I must sort of tell you that yes, Japan is a very important market from a point of view of establishing credibility in highly regulated markets. But the market size itself is not enormous. So even if we, ramp up even more than what we have at the moment, it's not really the big opportunity that Biocon and Mylan are addressing. I think the bigger opportunities, of course, are in the US and European markets. And that's where our main market focus has to be in terms of market share. Of course, Japan is an important market, and we hope to get a significant part of that market share, which our partners Fujifilm are attempting to do. But as you know, the total market for insulin glargine in Japan is less than $150 million, whereas putting it in perspective, the markets for the same product in US and Europe are $7 billion. So that's what really you have to put that into perspective in terms of.
Okay. Kiran, coming back to this plant inspections, is this a huge opportunity? I mean, if you got a tick mid-March and early April from those two visitors, inspectors, will that mean a seminal change for Biocon? What would it be in money terms a year down the line?
Well, certainly these inspections are extremely important in order for us to really make sure that our, BSUFA dates are, going to happen on those dates. So I think that's very, very crucial for us. And as I said, in terms of an opportunity, if you look at just the product and product dossiers that we've submitted, we are looking at, an addressable market of over $25 billion. So I think it's a sizable opportunity for Biocon and Mylan.
Okay. Well, I don't want this to happen at all, but if, God forbid, they told you that this and this and this has to be rectified, then, how much do things get postponed for you?
Well, I don't want to even hypothesize on that, but if in such eventualities, we will do what is necessary to get to the market in time, because, even if you get the approval in September and October, obviously there is a waiting period in terms of other aspects of, the ability to launch in the market. But hopefully that won't happen, because I think we are very hopeful, and given our track record, we hope that we will have a positive outcome.
Oh yes, we all wish that.
Kiran, market is liking what you're saying. The stock is up 3% right now. Before I end this conversation, I just wanted some thoughts from you on what Donald Trump had to say in his inaugural address. The emphasis was more on, of course, bringing down the health insurance costs. But what was your key takeaway? And for Indian pharma sector as a whole, should there be any worries?
I think, if you look at what Donald Trump is basically voicing, it is his concerns about spiraling healthcare costs. I think there is a single-minded focus on bringing down healthcare costs. And I think India is a very important strategic partner for the US in bringing down these costs. I think India needs to basically position itself in a much stronger way. Even in the IT services sector, or any services sector for that matter, we are not an outsourced services country anymore. We are an innovation partner. We are a knowledge partner. There is a symbiotic partnership with the US. And I think that's what needs to be projected. And I think the same needs to be projected for the pharma sector, where we are very relevant and strategically important for the healthcare system in the US to be sustained at affordable or at viable levels. So I think this is what is important for us to project, and I believe that we have a very, very important opportunity to play this role in the US.
Okay. Well, I actually completely forgot that you were wearing that other hat as well, Kiran, since you refer to Infotech. Has peace been finally established between the old Infosys founders and now just shareholders and the management and the current board?
You know, I don't want to answer a question the way you put it, but I really want to say that I think a lot of, you know, unnecessary kind of issues have been blown out of proportion. And I personally believe that Infosys is an iconic institution which really needs to focus on business rather than get distracted with a lot of unnecessary and unsubstantiated allegations. So I think as a board member, I'm really trying to focus on getting management to really drive business first rather than get distracted by all these other issues.
Of course,
but yes, we are hopefully, you know, resolving a lot of perceived differences, let's put it that way.
Okay. All right, Kiran, always a pleasure speaking with you, and all the very best to you for the coming inspections mid-March and early April. We will